Under the silver gaze of the moon, the desert lies quiet, as if the wind itself has forgotten how to sing, as if the stars hesitate to blink for fear of disturbing the silence that has wrapped my soul. My heart walks barefoot across the dunes of memory, each grain of sand carrying the warmth of a time when you were here, when my shadow walked beside yours and the sun rose not only in the sky but in my chest. Now, the horizon stretches wide and empty, a hollow echo of the past, and the footprints we once left together have been swallowed by the shifting sands of fate. There was a time when I could read your eyes like verses written by the hand of mercy, each glance a promise, each smile a dawn. But now, your gaze lives only in my mind, like a book whose pages have burned, leaving only the ash of recollection. I wander the streets of the city and the pathways of the desert alike, yet no place carries your voice. Even the falcons, once the heralds of our mornings, now return with no news, their wings heavy with the weight of the distance between us. The sea still kisses the shore, but it no longer sings for me. The tide rises and falls, but it does not wash away the sorrow that clings to me like a second skin. I remember how you once stood beside me, your hand in mine, as the water reached for our ankles and the sun painted the world gold. Now, I stand alone, and the waves speak a language I no longer understand, whispering secrets to a shore that cannot comfort me. In the court of the night, the moonlight spills across my tent, and I sit beneath it like a witness to my own undoing. The ink of my pen bleeds into the paper, carrying the weight of 1,000 unsent letters, each one beginning with your name. I write as if my words could cross the miles, as if they could find you in some distant city, under some foreign sky. But the truth is bitter. The letters remain here, folded into the silence, because I have nowhere to send them. You are no longer at the end of my roads. The horses still run at dawn, their hooves striking the earth like a drumbeat of life, but I no longer race beside them. My spirit is tethered, my wings clipped by the loss that shadows me. I stand by the paddock and watch as they disappear into the morning haze, and I think of you, how you were once the wind in my sails, the desert breeze in my lungs. Now I inhale only the dust of yesterday. Every star above me feels like an unanswered prayer. I used to count them with you, giving each one a name and a story, weaving constellations out of our shared laughter. Tonight I do not count them. I let them burn without acknowledgement, because naming them would be like calling your name into a void that has already claimed you. The palm trees sway outside my window, but their movement no longer speaks of joy. They stand as silent witnesses to my grief, their leaves rustling like whispers of things I can't change. The garden we planted together still blooms. The nights in this land are not the same without your voice threading through them, soft as a breeze across still water. Before, the darkness was a cloak in which we wrapped ourselves, sitting beneath the lantern light, your laughter a spark that kept the chill away. Now it feels like a vast ocean without a shore, swallowing me in a silence that feels heavier than stone. Even the stars seem to keep their distance, afraid to come too close to the grief that walks beside me. I speak to them sometimes, out of desperation, asking if they have seen you in some far-off place, if they have carried your name on their silver tongues. They do not answer, and their silence pierces me more than any truth could. Every road in the city seems to lead back to the same place, the corner where I last saw you turning away. I walk past it as if daring time to reverse itself, as if the mere act of retracing my steps could undo the moment that split my life in two. My feet know the way without thought, but each time I arrive, there is only the emptiness of the street, the shadow of a memory, the echo of a goodbye that you never quite said out loud. That silence is louder than any cry, more final than any door slammed shut. The wind through the date palms has changed. It no longer dances playfully between the leaves. It groans, dragging its voice low as it passes my window, as though it too mourns. In the marketplace, I hear merchants calling, bargaining, laughing. Yet their joy sounds distant, as though muffled by a wall I cannot break through. The smells of cardamom, saffron, and roasted coffee drift toward me, but none of them reach my soul. I realize now that it wasn't the spices, the colors, or the crowds that made those streets alive for me. It was walking them with you. The desert itself feels altered. The dunes, once soft underfoot and golden under the sun, now appear like great sleeping beasts, indifferent to my passing. My horse senses it too. When I take him out to ride, his steps are slower, as though he wonders why we bother if the journey has no destination. I loosen the reins, letting him choose the path, but no matter where we go, the horizon remains empty. It used to hold promise, a shimmering vision of where you might be waiting, but now it only mirrors my own longing back at me. At night, I write, though my words no longer have the music they once did. They fall onto the page like rain on dry sand, quickly absorbed, leaving no trace. I write as if each sentence might summon you, as if a line of poetry could form a bridge over the distance, but I am building in vain. My pen hesitates often, hovering above the paper, because every time I try to name what I have lost, the truth feels too vast to fit between two margins. Even the ink seems to resist, thickening under the weight of my sorrow. The falcon that once carried my messages refuses now to take flight. He tilts his head at me, as though sensing the futility of the mission.